In the heart of Transylvania, shrouded in legend and perched high atop a rocky cliff, stands one of the world's most enigmatic and romanticized castles, Bran Castle. Often referred to as Dracula's castle, this medieval fortress has captivated the imaginations of millions through books, films, and folklore. But behind the vampire myth lies a far richer tale, one of war, politics, trade, and royalty. Let us journey through the cobbled corridors of time, from the windswept battlements of the 14th century to the touristic magnet it is today. This is the story of Bran Castle. The earliest mention of Bran Castle dates back to 1377, when Louis I of Hungary granted the Saxons of Kronstadt, modern-day Brașov, the privilege to build a stone fortress at their own expense and labor. Strategically positioned at the narrow mountain pass between Transylvania and Wallachia, the location was chosen not merely for defense, but for economic and political leverage. The pass through the Carpathian Mountains had long been a crucial trade route. Whoever controlled the corridor could tax merchants traveling between the two regions. And so, the Saxons built a fortress that was both a military post and a customs station. Built atop a 200-foot-high rock, the original fortress featured thick stone walls, narrow passageways, and defensive towers. It wasn't a royal palace. It was a stern and functional guardian of the border, watching over one of Eastern Europe's most valuable routes. Throughout the 15th century, Bran Castle was central to Transylvanian and Wallachian politics. It was during this time that the infamous figure Vlad III, also known as Vlad the Impaler or Vlad Dracula, comes into the picture. While there is no conclusive evidence that Vlad ever lived in or ruled from Bran Castle, he certainly passed through the area and may have spent time imprisoned there during his conflict with the Hungarian king Matthias Corvinus. Nonetheless, Bran Castle's connection to Vlad Dracula was enough to ignite the imagination of later generations, especially after Bram Stoker's 1897 novel Dracula. Despite the fact that Stoker never visited Romania and described a fictional castle that bears little resemblance to Bran. In military terms, the castle saw various periods of conflict and relative peace. It served as a bulwark against the advancing Ottoman Empire, with Wallachian voivodes and Hungarian monarchs alike vying for control over the pass. By the 16th century, its strategic importance began to wane as newer military technologies and changing borders shifted the geopolitical landscape. In 1920, following the unification of Transylvania with the Kingdom of Romania after World War I, Bran Castle entered a new era. The Brașov City Council gifted the decaying fortress to Queen Marie of Romania, one of the most beloved figures in Romanian history. The castle was no longer just a military post. It was to become a royal residence. Queen Marie, a granddaughter of Queen Victoria and Tsar Alexander II, transformed the fortress into a romantic summer retreat. She added modern amenities, lush gardens, and furniture inspired by the Art Nouveau style, blending royal elegance with medieval architecture. It became a haven for the royal family and remained so until the communist regime came to power in 1948. The monarchy was abolished and Bran Castle was seized by the state. Under the communist government, Bran Castle was nationalized and converted into a museum. While its status as a cultural landmark was preserved, the castle lost much of its royal charm. Queen Marie's descendants were stripped of their properties, and many historical items were either removed or replaced with more generic exhibits aligned with the state's ideological goals. During this period, the myth of Dracula gained traction internationally, especially after the 1931 film adaptation of Stoker's novel and subsequent Hollywood interpretations. Romanian authorities, eager to attract foreign tourists but careful about ideological implications, walked a tightrope between promoting Bran Castle's Dracula lore and preserving its historical identity. Despite the ideological constraints, the castle remained open to the public, and visitors from all over the world came to walk its echoing halls and gaze through its arrow-slit windows. Romania entered a new era. One of the major challenges in the following decades was reconciling with the past, both royal and communist. In 2005, the Romanian government passed a law allowing for the restitution of properties confiscated by the state. 1 year later, in 2006, Bran Castle was officially returned to Dominic von Habsburg, the grandson of Queen Marie. Though he now lived in New York and had no intention of residing there, von Habsburg pledged to maintain the castle as a museum and cultural monument, open to the Romanian people and the world. In the years that followed, millions were invested in restoration and modernization efforts. Queen Marie's royal suites were reconstructed, historical artifacts were returned, and the museum underwent a complete revamp. Today, Bran Castle is one of Romania's top tourist destinations, attracting nearly 1 million visitors every year. It offers a fascinating blend of myth and history, romance and horror, truth and fantasy. While the Dracula connection remains the biggest draw for many tourists, the curators have skillfully balanced this with authentic exhibits on Romanian history, medieval weaponry, royal life, and Transylvanian folklore. Special exhibitions, medieval festivals, and even night tours allow guests to experience the castle from multiple angles. As a historical monument, a cultural hub, and yes, a haunted fortress of the imagination, Bran Castle has become a symbol of Romanian cultural diplomacy, a gateway through which the world can explore not only vampire lore, but also the deeper story of a nation at the crossroads of East and West. Of course, no discussion of Bran Castle is complete without addressing the vampire in the room. The Dracula myth continues to loom large, from literature and cinema to video games and cosplay events. While historians and curators emphasize the castle's authentic past, they also acknowledge the power of myth. In fact, it's the interplay between the real and the imaginary that gives Bran Castle its unique appeal. Each year, on Halloween, the castle hosts elaborate events featuring Gothic music, costume contests, and ghost tours. It's not uncommon to see guests dressed as Count Dracula wandering the halls under flickering torchlight. This blending of legend and history may not please all purists, but it undeniably fuels the global fascination with Bran Castle. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Hallstatt's legacy, be sure to like, subscribe, and explore more untold histories on our channel. Until next time, keep discovering.